time. If it's your first time here, well, ouRCiTy is the show where I get to have conversations with persons doing well in their various fields: finance, politics, sports, communications, technology, agriculture. I mean, all industries basically. And today's episode will not be different, as I have with me someone from the we'll go on a quick when we come back. The show will officially begin. Without go away. Random conversations with Domi, ouRCiTy. Welcome back from that short break. You're here in ouRCiTy with your favorite girl, Maximization. I have with an amazing person from the finance industry. He is the CEO, Edu Consult. He is also a finance analyst. I am talking of none other than Samuel Okesina. Hi, how are you doing?
Very well, thank you for having me. Hello viewers, glad to be here. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for being here in a place that seems kind of scary when it comes to financial status and all of that as a nation, as even as individuals. I mean, more than half of the nation, right, is going through some financial issues or the other. Caused by different things really. I mean, let's bring it down to inadequate opportunities, equal opportunities for everybody to be able to source for financial stability, right? So first off, let's try to understand what financial security is. I mean, to a layman, financial security would definitely mean that being secured financially, right? But I mean, in your own financial terms, what's financial security?
Well, thank you so much for that question. The definition of financial security, just as you have rightly said, won't be far-fetched from what you said. Just simply put, you can say that ability to have funds, as at when you need it to be able to meet obligations. You know that we have job security, we have other forms as well. So, but when it comes to finance, you need to have funds, not excessive per se, but the ability to be able to meet needs even as they arise. So that was why I referred to being liquid the other time. So it means that you having funds, cash, to be able to meet certain expenditures, to be able to fulfill certain financial needs that you have. So having those funds available and ready per time is what financial security is all about. And then majorly there is no one single stream to ensuring that an individual is financially secure. I mean, you have rightly said that not just the country but the world generally is undergoing a phase at which people need to double up and buckle up and try as much as possible to ensure that they multiply the streams that they have so that they can always have the funds. No one wants to be stranded or cash trapped at any point. So financial security is every action or every strategy you put in place to ensure that you always have funds to meet your financial needs.
All right, so I mean, you talked about having different streams of income now. So as sometimes, if you think about it, right, sometimes I'll just think about it while you go that even with the number of streams you have, sometimes you're still not able to meet up with certain needs, right? So how do you maximize your income to ensure that, no matter how small it is, you are able to stay secure financially? Because at some point or the other, you would actually need it. There are days where you can't depend on the government, for the youth, for everyone out there who would like to still be able to afford certain things. So how would you advise, or how would you train or teach that one is able to maximize income?
Okay, so I think the first thing to note when it comes to financial security is financial discipline.
Okay.
While we're in secondary school, the basic economics talked about differentiating between needs and wants. Right? So the needs are what you need, in your immediate, at the immediate time, they are pressing, those are needs.
Yeah.
What are items or expenses that you intend to incur even at a later time? So most people have difficulty when they fail to differentiate between the two, right? And when financial discipline has to be clearly defined, it just means the ability to have a well-defined financial plan and then sticking to it to ensure that you don't go overboard, you don't overspend, because many a times when people overspend, they end up draining the cash they have.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So there is a term they call cash flow.
Yeah.
That's the difference between the inflows that you have, that's the funds that you receive, and the ones that you spend on expenses. So in order to be financially secure, your inflows must always be more than outflow. So there's a general rule that, for instance, the salary earners, that in a month when you receive your salary, a certain percentage should be earmarked as savings.
Yeah.
One should be earmarked as for expenses, and perhaps you have saved enough to be able to invest, because the essence of investing is to be able to have to create wealth. Do you understand? To create wealth and some sort of residual income at a later time. So financial discipline is key to ensuring that an individual has a financial security or is financially secure, regardless of whatever any individual is earning, whether from the company or the profits they make from businesses. If one does not have financial discipline, one cannot be financially secure, because that individual without a proper financial plan, one will always be tempted to spend beyond.
Okay, so are you saying that financial discipline also has a role to play when it comes to income maximization?
Definitely.
Okay.
There is an aspect that has to do with budgeting.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So budgeting is good because it helps you to monitor how you spend your cash, and also it helps you to stick to that financial plan.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So even to the tiniest and the smallest item that you intend to purchase. For instance, you can do daily budget. I do not want to spend beyond a certain amount today, and you are realistic in setting those.
Which all still boils down to discipline.
Exactly.
Alright guys, we'll go on a short break. When we come back, the show continues, to not go nowhere. Welcome back from that short break. You're still here in ouRCiTy Random Conversation with Tony here on ouRCiTy. Nice to have with me, my finance analyst and the MD Brainpoint Edu Consult. We've established the meaning of financial security. We've also talked about income maximization. So now let's talk about. Let's bring it. All that one was for individual basis. Now let's go to a national level, right? So how do you think? We already understand what the security is, and it also applies to the nation. So it's not just like individuals and others. So let's bring it down to the public and private sector of a nation, right? Is it possible for private and public sectors to collaborate together to do things, to make financial plans, financial endeavors, and all that?
Oh yeah, so at some point we have stakeholders from the two sectors, both public and private sector. So there can be a joint venture.
Okay, so to what extent is it beneficial to the nation?
Oh, okay. So, like I said, there can be a joint venture between the two. Take for instance, so let me cite an example of from the private sector now as a business owner. We already know that technology is doing massive in terms of disrupting different sectors and bringing about innovation. And also, for most of the tech companies that we have, at some point they will need to involve government in terms of regulations. So that's where government participation comes in, right?
Okay.
And for these private sectors, by and large, as they continue in their operations, they generate revenue, right?
So they are supposed to fulfill their own part of loyalty to the government through payment of taxes. But then the problem or the challenge comes when some of the businesses claim, oh, we just barely 4 or 5 years, we have not really been generating revenue and all. But then, in ideal sense, tax is good for all, not just the government. It's beneficial even to the masses. Most of the infrastructures that we expect to see, they are powered from taxes. Right? So when people evade tax, it becomes a problem. For instance, we know the current economic situation of the country. There is still a huge debt that's been consolidated that will be offset by the government. So the government is trying as much as possible to get funds to be able to finance infrastructure.
Okay, so I mean, are we saying that the only way or the only medium through which the government and the private sectors can come together is based on the revenues, the taxes, and all that? Are there no ways that they can actually, for instance, let me take for instance, I like to cite this instance, artists, right, where they get to do things together, record labels, doing stuff with artists, doing stuff with producers, doing stuff with music directors, doing stuff with models, and all of that. So you just mentioned the economic crisis, but whether we like it or not, we are going through a major place, right? Exactly. So is there no way that the private sectors can, work with the public sector to try to, build initiatives that can help us, maybe not totally solve the problems of economic issues or financial issues, but to an extent help the situation? Are there no other instances where they can come together to work?
Of course there are quite a number. You talked about initiative, which is a great marvelous one. So through initiative, through programs, I know that before now we have development goals of the government. There is the United Nations, which countries also have those kind of long-term goals on which they develop strategies to meet. So at that point, we already know what the public sector aims to achieve. So we can, of course, think at some point we need to partner with the private sector in executing that towards the attainment of these goals. So it's very possible. There are a number of initiatives.
Okay, so in the case where there's the owner of a certain company seeing this right now, and then now he knows that he can actually work with the government. Is it prerequisite or something to these things, or can it just be anything?
Okay, so it depends on the nature of the business.
Don't forget that the aim is to ease financial stress of the economy.
Yes, okay. Take for instance, I will always cite tech companies because the way
they are the owners.
Yes, the tech companies they are really doing that.
They are not playing.
Tech has hands in every sector. There's fintech, there's tech, just to name it. And looking at it holistically, the aim of or one of the goals or the visions of setting up these companies is to number one, to plug into the globalization that other economies of the world have immersed themselves in. And in a way, that will help to solve the problem of directly or indirectly unemployment.
Because it will cause innovation.
Exactly. And innovation will help to make things get done easily. Right? That's the essence of innovation, to be able to achieve a task and to be able to get the purpose on time. Right? So in a way, things will move faster than expected. You can't compare the era or the period where things are done in a conventional manner. You know the drawbacks, the shortcomings, going back and forth. And now with tech, we can get things done fast. Exactly. So look at the tech industries. Now people talk about developers. Before we hardly did research, right? And then you discover that most of these developers can even work for different companies. Some can even work for government organizations, right? So what are we doing? We are creating a network, of people that can speed things up, right? So what we just need to know is to know what the challenge that the government is facing, which of course is obvious to all, and private sectors will help to, in a way, contribute to solving those problems. It might take time because it's not rocket science, it's achievable.
As long as we are willing and interested to be a part of the system.
Exactly.
In my head now, I'm trying to ask myself, right? So, I mean, in the place of innovation, what are the financial, is it features to look into when you want to put yourself out to innovate certain, or to innovate or to create things?
For the financial implications of embracing innovation,
Yes.
this is for majorly for business owners.
Yes.
Okay, so in terms of finance, I want to believe that business owners they have a goal that they have set for businesses right now, which finance plays a major role.
Yeah.
And then one of the things they want to ensure is that they always have working capital to be able to meet their obligations as well as needs. So when it comes to innovation, so they need to go extra mile to do the research. Okay, this is how the business is performing. Now this is what we are trying to achieve. And these are the innovative plans, innovative action plans that we need to take in order to get excellent results. So it still boils down to that aspect of budgeting. There needs to be a clearly defined budget in order to bring in that innovation into the business. Because innovation will help you to get a better result. It will help you to, look through the molecular things, to view situations differently, to be able to approach that situation differently, and to be able to solve problems. And problems, businesses exist because there are problems, right?
Sure.
And regardless of where people are, whether in Nigeria or any part of the world, the world is waiting for problem solvers. So to be a problem solver, you have to be an innovator. So businesses.
So to be an innovator.
To be an innovator, yes, you have to be a problem solver. Yes, to be an innovator, you have to be a problem solver.
Okay.
And if you're a problem solver, just forget about it. People will look for you, right? Because you solve
There's a problem out there for you to solve.
I mean, it's all about value exchange. You can solve a problem and then I pay you for that value.
Shikina. Alright guys, we'll go on another short break. When we come back, will be time to wrap up.
Random Conversations with Domi, ouRCiTy.
Welcome back from that short break. Still here with my guest, Finance Analyst and MD Brainpoint Edu. So let's talk about Brainpoint Edu.
Okay, so Brainpoint Edu is we have an online database.
Okay.
Resource, academic resource sites for students, or not just students, for any other person that is interested in getting academic materials, just to guide them to help them achieve academic excellence. We also provide help in terms of attending to the students' needs, academic needs, such as essays, guides, and we also provide service in terms of writing customized essays, dissertations, academic papers generally.
Okay, so I mean, since we are here right now, we are here at the academic point, right? So I mean, looking at when Brainpoint started and where it is and where we are now, right? So for instance, maybe Brainpoint started in 2020, and this is started then. But let's say started then, looking at then and where the academic sector is right now. What would you think? Because the truth is, there's a problem. So what plans do you have? Because I'm sure that it's not just about writing or doing essays and all of that stuff. So what plans does Brainpoint Edu have for the academic section or sector of the Nigerian society or of Nigeria?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. The first thing that we've come to realize is that there is a challenge and it's a big one. And no thanks to COVID, it made the challenge really, really
and so obvious.
And the need for us to step up on how we can address that challenge. For some time now, there has been some gaps in terms of how students access relevant information that is key to their academic. So we're coming through that aspect and providing them the relevant resource materials that they need. Of course, it's going to be based on request.
Yeah.
So we attend to those needs, and just because we are dealing with a large space, we do have clients from even outside the country. So we are able to map out the request and we attend to them respectively. And we are not stopping at that level. We are also looking for more ways to innovate on how we can make sure, because the goal of course is to achieve academic excellence. The goal of course is to fulfill the academic discipline. So we are also innovating on ways to make things. We are not the only one, because there are various outcomes. So again, one thing that unifies everyone is that everyone is trying to innovate to solve challenges faster, quicker.
Okay, all right. So this might sound some way or somehow, I don't know if you agree with me that we are slowly getting to a point where we move to digital learning, where all academic activities happen online. When that happens, how effective do you think that would be compared to how it is now? Do you think it will be more effective? Do you think that, we'll enter a problem? are there going to be benefits that would be tangible enough to sustain and then, further help us build the academic sector?
Thank you very much.
Always thanking me.
Okay, so, no thanks to COVID, but at some point you can still thank COVID because it's an eye-opener. Before now, people have always relied on conventional ways of attaining, of accessing knowledge.
Yeah.
Right, but after the advent of COVID, people began to see that there are better and different ways to access this knowledge. Everything can be done online. So no need of going through, gone are the days that we hear the adage, did you go through the 4 walls of the university? So the 4 walls can actually be in your room.
In your room, yeah.
And the advantage that has over the conventional way of accessing information is that it has to do with the internet. There is no, you can access it almost at time T. It's real time, right?
Yeah.
So it in a way has a multiplier effect because students now will need to have access to the internet to be able to access these materials. The materials are there online, right? They can access it at any time. Now this is going to be a clarion call for the service providers, the internet service providers to be able to up their services because people will always go for reliable internet services to be able to attain this level of knowledge, to be able to access the resource materials that they need for them. So, and I don't see this come to an end. I think it's the beginning of another level of globalization, especially in the phase. And before you know it, institutions, both from the grassroots, the secondary and the tertiary level, will switch. Maybe not completely. It's a phase of time. It's a gradual process. They will begin to switch from that conventional way of people need to come to a physical school. They need to get a degree by attending classes physically to an online platform. Permit me to cite this instance. There is a young man that has a sort of a school because it's University of the People, right? So if you are chance, you can do a little more research about University of the People.
University of the People.
University of the People. So the way the model for that school really centers around the cloud. There is no physical school location. So everything is online. And there are academic programs that students that are interested can sign up for and attend lectures. And the great thing about it also is that they issue certificate. So it's just like a typical school, but no physical structure, which means there is no limit to the number of students that institution can.
Oh wow!
And you can access it from anybody. That is just one. There are other, companies that are online now that provide access to people to get access to academic materials. I don't know if you've heard of Coursera, Udemy, So those companies even go extra mile to make sure that people at their leisure can take up short courses. Go for short courses, get the certification, and be confident in it.
Because you can actually use
exactly. And these certifications, these short courses, they are not based on discipline. That this was the course I studied in my university, so I can go for. For instance, you see someone that by profession is an accountant, but he wants to know about development, he wants to know about language, he wants to know about history, he wants to know about music. He just needs to go for a program in that particular aspect, and he will be a master of that course, that particular program.
Okay, guys, we actually have a whole lot to do, but we gather, we'll do it. But before we go, right, let's now swim back to financial security, right? So we've talked about how you can be financially secure. So what are is it the enemies of financial security? Barriers. Yes.
To attaining financial discipline.
Yes.
Well, this is common to one and common to all. Lack of proper financial planning. You see, if there is when a goal is not properly defined, it's easy to just
How can you define a goal?
You define a goal by aiming at what you intend to achieve. Okay, this is what I want to achieve. And then it becomes an objective when it's specific. That's the difference between a goal and an objective. An objective is specific, it is measurable, it is attainable, and then it is time bound. So that's the difference between a goal and an objective. So when there is a plan on ground, then you cannot go with a plan. If there is no plan, there's nothing to go with. And then that individual just discover that he's just going around in his cycle. He's not achieving anything. He's not making any progress. Right? And so there has to be a plan, and there has to be a strategy for achieving that plan. And one needs to work on it.
Okay, guys, we have now come to the end of the show. Free financial costs on my show, baby. That's what we're about, and I'm super excited to do this for you guys. Thank you so much for being on my show. Alright, so for those that would like to, ask you questions, that would like to consult with you and all of that stuff, how can they reach you? Your social media?
Okay, Facebook, Okesina Oluwasho.
Okay.
And then Twitter, Oluwasho Okesina.
Oh, okay.
And then my email is okesinaoluwasho@gmail.com.
What about for
my phone number?
Okay.
Yes.
Brainpoint.
Okay, for Brainpointed Consult, you can reach us by email. Brainpointedconsult@gmail.
Alright, guys, you can reach me if you may follow me on Instagram, The Educated Premier Talk, at The Educated Premier Talk. Till I come your way, same time, next time. I love you. Stay